Yo, we're doing this again, as if y'all have not caught on yet. I'm a little bit of a Gen Z man myself, and I grew up with a lot of these movies when I was watching cable at way too late in the night. But I've also had a fair bit of an experience with burning discs, so that's another way I watched a lot of these. Don't tell the FBI. Yeah, it's not that complicated. We're just going to be going through a bunch of my old favorite movies. But anyway, starting us off, Shrek. Shrek! You already know where that's going. I don't have to say anything. We all know why. Spy Kids. Okay, I was okay, I'm joking. I love Shrek. I love all of the Shrek movies, even the third one. The third one might even be my favorite. But I also really like the fourth movie, actually, because so far it is actually the best looking Shrek film that I wish they would have interpreted into the sixth movie, because it's still a newer animation style. It's still an old movie, but I mean, it's more recent of an idea of what Shrek could look like in the modern age. And I immediately take that back. Puss in Boots 2. We see a render of him in both the intro and in the movie. And he looked fucking awesome. What happened? Nah, DreamWorks is just dumb. Spy Kids. Yeah, Spy Kids. I think Spy Kids is still a entertaining as hell movie. Especially when you're I don't want to say it's like good for its time, because like even though a lot of it hasn't aged the best and it's mainly for fourth graders, maybe even kindergartners, I can't put it below anything worse than a decent, because like it's great for little kids, but it's also like one of the most inoffensive movies I've seen for marketed towards children. So I can't really be too mad at these movies. But then next, Spider-Man, the first one. It was not the first Spider-Man I've seen, but you know what? I love all three of these classic movies. The first one, you know, I'm not one of those guys that thinks like the second movie is the best one out of the trilogy. But at the same time, I can see why people would say that. But I'm mainly sticking to the first movie. I think it was great, but not perfect. Not to say it was like my favorite one. I don't know how exactly I'm going to be rating these movies on exactly. I'm just rating on like how I personally feel about the first movie, at least in comparison to the other movies. So I think the first movie was great. I love rewatching it, but I'll also say the second one is not my favorite like how it is everybody else's. Spider-Man 3 was a fucking great movie. Let's just talk about it. Happy Feet. Good for its time. I'm sorry. Happy Feet, I don't have the best relationship to it. Like, not for any bad reasons. It's just not the most memorable movie to me. The second one, I remember seeing the second one in theaters, but it was not even that interesting of a film. I mean, I like rewatching some bits from the movie on like Instagram and shit, where Robin Williams' character says like a funny line. That always gets me. My name is Ramon. Ice Age. I like Ice Age. I like the first Ice Age. It's very simple. It's a calming movie. There's not too much going on. There's not a lot of stimulation. Of all these animated movies, this is probably the most stoic in the bunch. So I like the fact that it's a movie that's not overly stimulating, like how later Disney movies would become. This is Blue Sky, but you know what I mean. I'll put it in great. I like the first Ice Age. I like it more than Happy Feet, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll put Ice Age right there. It's a fun movie. And then Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I'm putting it above Spy Kids, but still indecent. Because I enjoy Shark Boy and Lava Girl to a certain extent. I love seeing this really proprietary CGI in the 2000s. When we were already getting movies like Avatar and, what else? Some other movies that came out during that time. Spider-Man came out around the same time. And yet it was still using this like proprietary 90s style CGI. And I kind of like that. That just kind of reminds me of what Frutigero is. That's literally just how we interpret our past memories in the days of Gen Z childhood. Yeah. Monsters Inc. It's a great movie. I put it above Ice Age. I just really liked it. Monsters Inc. was one of the first movies I watched when I got cable. And I got, all things considered, I got cable really late in life. But it was also like right before the big Netflix boom. So basically prime childhood for anybody my age. And Monsters Inc. was one of the first movies that were available to me. Because not only did we have cable, we had all the good shit. I'm talking Nickelodeon, Disney XD, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. My personal favorite was PBS Kids, where they would play Thomas and Dragon Tales. Is that where Thomas aired? Please somebody tell me that's where Thomas aired. I thought for years he aired on PBS Kids, but I might be wrong. Please prove me right. Coraline. I fucking love Coraline. I almost would want to say it's better than Spider-Man on my list. Specifically the first movie, sorry. But, yeah, fuck it. It's not, I don't like it more than Shrek, per se, but I do really like it. Coraline is a very creative, spooky horror film. I call it a horror film, even though it is technically, like, rated PG still, I think. Isn't it? Or is it rated PG or PG-13? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's still, like, in that category of, like, mature PG, back when PG was, like, still pretty new or something. I saw a Nostalgia Critics video on it. He did a good job. But, I love the art style. I love the stop-motion animation. That's partially what inspired me to do all those stop-motion animations back in my early days, before I purged my entire channel. But yeah, I'll always have a soft spot for stop-motion movies. My personal favorite is probably... Okay, fuck it, Coraline, you're on the top of that list. Okay, The Incredibles. Holy shit, this was another movie I watched on cable. I like it more than Monsters Inc., honestly. I love the lore of The Incredibles, especially with all those, like, videotapes that you get in the DVD, which, by the way, we will no longer speak of PlayStation in this house, in terms of, like, buying games from it, unless it is absolutely necessary, and my computer would melt if I tried to render anything. But even still, I'm not gonna buy any. I'm gonna buy their discs, but only for, like, until the date comes that you're not able to buy them anymore. WALL-E. I love WALL-E. WALL-E is also a great experience. It's not overly stimulating like most cartoon movies are, but it's also, like, such a fun experience. I love all the little characters and the robots, and the humans are pretty funny. I asked my brother one of the first times I watched this movie, why nobody in the movie could walk, and he said it was because they're all fat. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And that was the logic I went with for years. But nah, this shit has lore. Wreck-It Ralph. I think of the classic 3D animated Disney films, I think this was like 2013, 14 that this came out. I don't remember when this movie came out, but it was pretty early, all things considered. But it's really good. I put it, like, right behind Incredibles. I love all the video game references. I love the spotlight that they give to Sonic throughout the whole movie. Well, actually, it wasn't all about him, but I loved it every time he popped up, because, I mean, if you can't tell. Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6, I like it. Not as much as some of these other films here, though. I rewatched it recently, and I can see why I was into it as a kid. But, I gotta put it, like, below WALL-E. I don't know. I kinda just like how much simpler the story is in WALL-E. Big Hero 6, I mean, it has a good story. It's just, like, I think it was around that time when Disney films started to feel kind of formulaic, you know? I mean, you've definitely seen that plot before on a Disney movie. Some family member dies, and then he, like, takes after his inventions or some shit. It feels pretty formulaic to watch, but it's still a good watch, you know? Like, I would definitely revisit it at some point. It's just... And actually, you know what? If I'm going to be speaking to it like that, I'd probably put it, like, right here. Step Brothers. I think this is also a good for its time, but I don't really know which one I prefer over these two. fuck it, it's below Happy Feet. I don't get where the hype for this movie comes from. Like, it's just your average old school 2000s comedy. I didn't believe this was the 2000s until I looked it up. I thought this was like late 90s or something. But no, it was apparently the 2000s. So, what do you know? I mean, it's great that these kind of comedy movies were still going like around that time and to this day. But I just don't really prefer it myself. There are funny moments in it, don't get me wrong.
Because I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum set. I am warning you, if you touch my drums, I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
I just don't think it really needs all that hype. I kind of just like watching it if it's like on something, or if it's the only thing that's on the TV, like I'm at a hotel or something. I would never go out to pursue this movie, I'll say. And then Avatar.
Go. Tom Holland. And what the fuck? Talk yo bitch.
Honest to God, I do like Avatar. I'm kind of into the world of Avatar in a way. Say what you will about James Cameron and his way of work. Like, James Cameron's movies are pretty straightforward, all things considered. But they are creative. Like, that's the whole thing about the Terminator movies, is that I feel like we've seen those kinds of movies before. But this is just creative in its own way, because it's made in James Cameron's vision. And so even though I can recognize that Avatar's plot is not the most creative or even the most, like, ambitious in a way, because, like, watching the first movie again is, like, kind of a drag, if I'm being honest. And it kind of sucks that the third movie took a lot more inspiration from the first film than it kind of did the second film, because they kind of just went back to the whole man meets the nature thing and gets it on with some local tale. And that's about it. So, I like the first one, but it's not my favorite. I actually even prefer the third movie over the first one. So, I guess I'm going to have to put it below Monsters, Inc., but above WALL-E, because I absolutely love the CGI in it. I love how good it looks, just like how everybody else does. Like how everybody is correct when they talk about this movie. Anybody who says anything about this movie is correct. Because, okay, I'm gonna make a whole fan rant episode about Avatar, so I should probably hold off on that. Twilight. I gotta be so real with you. I've never actually watched Twilight. I'm sorry, but I have seen all the nostalgia critic videos on the Twilight movies. Like, I watched this compilation video and shit. And, gathering up all that information, I think I can confidently say, yeah, no, it was kind of trash. It came out at just the right time, but also just, like, didn't come at the right time at all. When you really think about it, the 2000s was just all about growing. It was all about learning. Nobody had a clue, like, what the world was becoming, or what the world would eventually become, which is what it is today, Cyberpunk 2077. I can't say that Twilight isn't fully creative, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. The vibes I get from it are kind of whack. So I'm comfortable with leaving it in trash, but I am willing to sit down and watch the films at some point, and then maybe come back with a video saying like, oh no, they aged well, or some shit, or I don't know, some other clickbait title. But now we're coming to something more up my speed. Superbad. It is decent. It is a decent movie, but it's better than all these ones, so it's going right there. Superbad is such a great comedy. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. It is great. It's above Ice Age. It's such a funny movie. Aside, like, we all know the McLovin joke, but that's too easy. I'm talking about the period blood joke.
I'm gonna fucking throw up.
Someone period on my fucking leg.
Okay. Taken. I love Taken. It's a very deep, dark story. I think, but at the same time, it's a great action movie. So it's like, I don't know, I kind of see it as like kind of like one of those old James Bond movies in that way. Like, one moment, Bond is like the biggest talk of the town and like the party boy, but then we all know he can be fucking dangerous when he needs to be. Though it definitely shows us the real terror of when it comes to like how depraved the human trafficking business really is. So It's definitely unforgettable when you watch it. Like, you will not be forgetting what happens in that movie. And the actors do such a great job. I don't believe for a second, though, that there was a device that had you, like, perfectly grow a tiny-ass image like that into 1080p resolution. That was kind of odd. But other than that, it was fine. So, I don't put it above Coraline, but I'll put it right here. Just out of respect. But now, this is the reason I'm making this whole damn video. Real Steel. I'll put it above Shrek. Okay, I'm not gonna do it like that. I fucking love Real Steel. Real Steel is such a kick-ass movie. I loved all the robots' designs. I loved the father and son dynamic with Hugh Jackman and whoever that kid was. I wonder what happened to that kid. Is he still doing, like, movies and shit? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up on that later. There are also so many Marvel stars in this. You got Hugh Jackman, obviously, but then you got Anthony Mackie as, like, this hustler, I guess. And then you have the Wasp in there as well. And they all just become, like, huge Marvel stars within the next 10 years. I think Hugh Jackman is already pretty big for Wolverine at the time. But, like, Anthony Mackie and the Wasp, like, I'm sorry, I forget the Wasp's actress. It was a masterpiece in the making. But also, like, yeah, the whole movie all around is just such a great story as well. And you also kind of forget, we're living during this movie's time period. Let me show you. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm good. I didn't mean to click that. I just gave my computer a fucking Trojan virus. Jesus Christ. That was kind of creepy. You didn't see that. Pitch Perfect. Pitch Perfect. You know, this is one of the movies I put on when I'm with my mom. Because, like, she loves this movie. She has such a great time with it. She loves all the music. And I love all the music, too. I'm not a huge acapella fan, though. But I also love Anna Kendrick. That Cup song lives in infamy.
I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving tomorrow. What do you say?
But overall, I don't remember everything that happens in these movies. I've watched all 3 of them. But yet, I can't remember a single thing that happens in them. The first movie, I mean, it was it was a competition, right? And we got to meet all these quirky women. I'll put it at the end of great. So, halfway between decent and great. For my mother. Aww. And then right here is, like, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Hangover. It's a great comedy. It's so good. I would, honest to God, watch it over any of these 3. Or any of these movies behind here. It is definitely up there for one of the most entertaining movies I've ever seen. So, I'm putting it right there. The whole movie, the timing, the actual chemistry between all the actors and actresses. It's like everybody was giving it their all. It was so funny. I have to see the other 2 movies because I've seen so many clips from them and they are just as hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. And then, yet another amazing underrated superhero flick, V for Vendetta. I love this movie because it's all about fighting against the system. V for Vendetta is what most people on Twitter think they're doing. I will say, I've had to rewatch the movie a few times just to fully understand, like, what the whole idea and plot was. Like, all the, like, little bits of lore and world building kind of went over my head the first few times. But yeah, the whole movie is just about this guy who was involved in some horrible accident with the government, involving government officials. And then, like, he takes down all the people who wronged him, but then at the same time, freeing the people of the UK. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Everybody knows The Mask. Everybody sees this and they think V. Like, that's V. Like, you're not thinking it's a Guy Fawkes mask. That's V. Same thing with the Ghostface mask. It's become so iconic at this point and associated with slasher. That's all people associate the mask with. I don't even think most people even know about the mask's real creator. So yeah, V for Vendetta, right behind Coraline for me. but still like right in the middle of that row. And now we have the first Transformer. You know, I just rewatched it recently. The very first not Star Wars. Oh god, that's a horrible joke. Okay, side joke. I was in a Discord chat, right, with all my friends. My British friend asked me if I've ever heard of Megatron. And because I was so, like, zonked at the time, I'm talking, I was running off of, like, 6 hours of sleep. This was from the 4th of July, I think. I was running off of, like, 6 hours of sleep. And he said, or he asked me, you guys know Megatron? And I said, yeah, I know Megatron from Star Wars. Everybody in the chat just erupted into just, what the fuck do you mean Megatron from Star... What? Jordan's having a stroke! I completely caught myself as soon as I said Star Wars, because I was like, fuck! But, anyway, yeah, Transformers... I feel like the story I just told was more interesting than this movie, but it's better than Happy Feet. I think compared to the rest of the Transformers movies, it's pretty mid. Again, CGI is amazing, but I think this is a better example of, like, great CGI, but completely boring story. Because I don't remember a single goddamn thing from this movie. You know what? If I can't even remember a single thing, it's at least above Twilight. 300. Jesus Christ. Bro, I just had a brain aneurysm. I was brought back too far to the past. Sorry about that. Ignore me. Back to the regularly scheduled program. 300 was a fun movie. Though, something I'll never get tired of seeing, is seeing Zack Snyder completely romanticize, like, the idea of Spartans and Batman and Superman being these unstoppable killers and gods and shit. When really, I don't even remember if the Spartans really won a big battle or were even known for, I mean, they were known for being really brutal. But, like, I don't think they were, like, as hyped up to be something as huge as how Zach described. I just don't remember hearing about that in English class. Or even my mythology class I had in high school. So, I like it. I'll rewatch it. But I guess I'd put it, like, above Superbad. Like, it's a fun movie. I love all the actors in it. The characters are iconic at this point. Well, that was my first list. I think it's still pretty solid. Though the funny thing is, I've had to re-record this video like 3 times, and I think my opinions have changed every time. But so, as of right now, this is my current list of early 2000s movies that I have watched in my past. So if you guys want a part 2 to this, and you want to discuss more movies from my childhood, then I'm more than happy to do so. Just make sure to hit the like button, and if we get to, I believe, 10 likes on this video, then I'll do a part 2. For sure. Because this is fun. I like doing these discussion videos. I like just doing these videos where I can just do whatever I want. Whenever I'm not doing professional normie or fan rant, I'm doing this. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys again next time. Have a good day and night. And, peace.